2015 mock paper. Okay, this question was an interpenetration question from a number of years ago. There was a number of things that you had to do first. The very first thing I would do is this shape directly in the center. You had all the measurements for it. I would start off with my center line. You were told this was 50 wide, so 25 either side. Then this was 40, so 20 either side, and so on. I think it was 80, and the overall height you were given it as well. So this shape will find itself, and you'll bring all your points down to plan. It will just be vertical lines because that's all you have, and you know that it's 90 in length. In order to get this pentagon that's been going through it, this really isn't all that necessary. You can do it down here, and it doesn't matter how far away you do it. So what I would suggest to you is just down from your page, that corner 3 that I've labelled there, you're going to do an angle of 15 degrees. If you measure out 30 from corner 7 and drop your line down, it tells you where it terminates, and also you'll be able to get the bottom point where it touches the XY line and come perpendicular. So you'll be able to get all of this. In order to get these two lines, you'll need to actually draw the pentagon. To do this, continue down that 15 degree line, doesn't matter how long. Pick anywhere to start. Measure 40, because you're told it's an edge length of 40, 72 degrees either side, and then finish off your pentagon. What people are going to be stuck on then is, how do I position everything down in plan? Well, very straightforward. You were told that in plan the overall width was 90. So from the apex of the pentagon, which I've called A, measure 45 either side. You will do this in plan as well. Draw your centre line. Measure 45 either side and have your gap for your end or for your elevation. When it comes to positioning this then, when you've done your 45s either side, whatever this distance is, it should be consistent here as well. And that's where your XY line will go. It doesn't matter if it's overlapping or anything, because you won't need any points really over on this side. So once you have your auxiliary done, your elevation fully finished, you'll be able to then start getting these lines. And I'm going to explain how to get those now. To find out where A, B, C, D and E are in plan on both sides, all you're going to do is use your auxiliary. From where you have found the XY line to be, you will measure the distance to A, and from your XY line, you will strike it off and you'll get the position of A. Draw your line in. Then you will get the distance to B. From your XY line, strike it off and you will get B. Draw your line in. Do the same for C, transfer it, D, transfer it, and E. Take the distance, and again from your XY line, transfer it, and you'll get those 5 lines. In order to get these pentagonal shapes, literally I'm bringing corner A, so I know that's A, bring A down onto my line A, bring B and E onto my lines B and E, and bring C and D onto lines C and D. These are hidden detail because when I'm looking down, I can't see those points. However, on this side, when I look down, I can see all of those 3 points or those 5 points, and they will all be heavy. As you know from the last kind of 4 questions that we've done, it is getting the interpenetration lines and pierce points that is always the most confusing. But if you never found anything inside there, and you just did this, and you just did this, and you had the plan done just as it is, you have 60% got already, okay? The last remaining 40% is how you finish off and get your pierce points. The good thing is when you transfer all your points up, this is a sloped surface. The object can't go in anymore. So that's the elevation for the left hand side completely done all the way over here. That's all done. And this object coming into the right hand side isn't actually intersecting this object at all. It's just, yes, you can see it's piercing it, but you just get pierce points. Nothing else. Okay, so the elevation is complete. When it comes to doing the plan, you are going to be using your auxiliary and your elevation in order to finish the plan. You can see in the auxiliary I've highlighted a number of pierce points. I've called it X and Y. We already have the E and B's. I've highlighted 2 points on the line 2. I've highlighted 2 points on the line 7. And obviously you have your points on the line 3, which are C and D already. This makes it actually quite straightforward to get your plan. But like everything, you need to double check that you've accounted for everything. Okay, so we can see that corner A is actually not intersecting the object at all. It's outside it, it's not affected, so leave it be. What you really need to find are X and Y. In order to find these points in plan, because when you bring it back, you just don't get anything, you need to find these 2 points. Take the distance to Y, and on the line 1, which is this line here, strike it off. You can see I have my point there. I've called it Y. Do the same for X. Take the distance and strike it off. This gets you X. So I've those 2 found and I've them ticked off. The next thing that you need to find are E and B. There's no intersection line, so when I come back to my elevation, E and B have 2 points left and right of the object. When I bring them down onto the correct lines of E and B, I will get 4 points in total. Just to show you where they will be. Bring down E and B, so B is here and E is here. Do the same on the other side. So bring it down. That's B, and then down on the bottom is E. What this tells me is these pierced lines are going all the way until here. So in plan, where that point is, that should be a heavy line all the way into there on both sides. Same with B. Continue the line B on until it touches both of those point B's. So I've got my line of intersection and my pierce points at B, my line of intersection and my pierce point at E. Okay, so I've got those 2 done. The next thing I want to do is find point 2. Okay, now this is actually only intersecting on the left hand side. You don't need to find anything on the right hand side over here. It's just going to be on the left. Again, I'll call them different letters for you. You can call it, I don't know, W, X, Y, Z. I'm going to go for 20 and 21. Getting stuck with the letters there. So 21 on the line 2. 21 on the line 2 is literally about 1 millimeter in from the edge. 21, and then we'll go for 20. Again on the line 2 is about 1 millimeter in also. That's 20. So I've got those 2 found. The next one will be on the line 7, and I've called them Z and W, but literally if you just take the distance again and find these 2 points on the line 7, so W on the line 7 is here. I have it marked W, but I'll just do it a little bit heavier. W, and then finally Z on the line 7 again. So that's those 2 done. And then finally C and D are on the line 3. So that gets you these 2 points. So I need to bring them down onto the line C and D, and I should be getting about 4 points in total. So bring this down, find it on the line 3. So I have it here, C, D, and then finally C, D on the left hand side, right hand side as well. As you can see, I've accounted for everything in this. It's now a matter of joining them up. When I'm looking down, I can only see A, X, E, A, Y, B. A is essentially not important anymore. It's just that heavy line, so we'll just bear with me for a minute in that one. So these will be heavy, and anything underneath is going to be hidden detail. So E to 20 is hidden detail, 20 to Z is hidden detail, 20 to D is hidden detail, D to C is hidden detail, C to W is hidden detail, W to 21 is hidden detail, 21 to B is hidden detail. So I'm going to do it chronologically. So A is at the top, it's not intersected or intersected by anything. It will be a continuous heavy line on top. So I have A done. Next, I need to account for that X and Y. So Y is going to be joined to B. So there's two Y's to B. So Y to B on the left hand side, Y to B on the right hand side. Now, so I have Y and I have B. B is joined to 21, but as I said earlier on, it has to be hidden detail. So that's on the left hand side. That's a dot, 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 hidden detail to the 21. That's also done. 21 to W has to be hidden detail as well. Bear with me on that one for a second. 21 goes to C. C joins to D. And again, it's hidden detail. D joins all the way back up to that 20. And 20 goes up to the E, and E goes to X on both sides. E also goes to that Z on the right hand side. Z goes to D. D goes back to C. Hidden detail. C goes to W. And just, I'm focusing on the heavy lines here now. That's a hidden detail line. So W doesn't go to 21. W goes to B. And B is already joined to Y. And that's it, finished. Just to show you. Okay, the object goes in. All of this surface. It's good practice to colour it in because you will get very confused. And especially when some of the lines are hidden detail and some of the lines are heavy, not everything is joined to each other, and that's what you can see going on the left and right hand side here. So between the auxiliary and the elevation, you were able to do the plan pretty much exactly the same as everything else. We didn't have any lines of intersection that were new in this one. We just had our pierce points. When we brought them down, this got our lines of intersection. And again, for people that were wondering what pierce points are the individual points where the object actually is intersecting. So all of these letters, A, X, E, 20, Z, D, C, W, 21, B, Y, these are all pierce points, and the lines that are created from those pierce points are your lines of intersection.